Привіт-привіт! My name is Ina and welcome to my YouTube channel Speak Ukrainian. In today's video lesson we're going to learn the second conjugation group in Ukrainian language. But before we start, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel Speak Ukrainian, like this video and leave your comments below about this video lesson. So guys, we continue to practice the present tense in Ukrainian language, and what is the most important about this topic, the verbs conjugation. I have already recorded for you the video lesson about the first conjugation. You can check out it here. And in this video lesson, I'm not going to explain again what is the verb, what is the conjugation, what is the person. We're going just to learn how to form the second conjugation group and its endings. So I mean how we can determine that this is exactly the second conjugation group. Okay, let's repeat. So guys, please check out if you see the verbs that end in these endings, it means they belong to the first conjugation group. Please pause this video and write them down. So guys, when we talk about the second conjugation verbs, we need to add such endings as. So when a stem ends in a vowel, then we have to add such endings as ю, їж, їть, їмо, їте, ять. We have a logic here because stem ends in a hard vowel and then we add an ending that starts with a soft vowel. And when stem ends in a consonant, then we add endings that start with the hard vowel as u, ish, it, imo, ite, at. Sometimes it can be even yat. In this section, again, when we talk about the exceptions. And guys, of course, we have some exceptions with the changing of the consonants and when we have to add some additional letters in the stem, but I will explain you more with the examples because it will be clear for you. So in the video lesson about the first conjugation group, I explained you different types of the verbs that have some specific endings, and with the help of these endings we can determine whether this is the first or the second conjugation group. Here is the same. So let me explain you. When a verb ends in iti, it means it belongs to the second conjugation group. For example, the verb бачити, it means to see. So let's analyze it. So you can see it ends in iti, so it indicates that it belongs to the second conjugation group, and of course we have to drop this ending here, so we just drop it, and we have a stem bach. Bach, it ends in a consonant, you're right, so we have to add these endings to conjugate it correct. So if you want to say I see, you say я бачу, you see, informal. Ти бачиш. Він, вона, воно бачить. Ми бачимо. Ви, formal, yeah, you. Ви бачите, and вони бачать. The next example with the same ending is спішити. Спішити. Спішити, it means to be in a hurry. So спішити. You see, it ends in a iti. We drop it. We have a stem спіш. And again, you see that this stem ends in a consonant, so again we add this column. Я спішу, ти спішиш, він, вона, воно спішить, ми спішимо, ви спішите, вони спішать. Okay, so you see, this is the first type of the verbs and their endings that belong to the second conjugation group, and also you see how we have to conjugate them. So let's check out other types, guys. So guys, the second type of the verbs have such endings as, again, it's ити. I will explain you the difference between the first and the second one, and іти. Please check out. Ити, іти, I and I, how we pronounce them. Ити and іти. So guys, I told you that the first one has ending ite, this one too, but the difference is when we have this ite and ite, and when we drop them, these endings, then the stem of these verbs end in the consonant, and you have to make with them the changing of the consonants. So when a stem for this type of the verbs ends in S, you change it into sh, z into ž, t into ch, d into dž, z, d into ž. Oh my god, I know it's so confusing, guys. But we need to master this topic because cases and conjugation of the verbs, they are the basic topics of Ukrainian grammar, but unfortunately they are the most fundamental and the most difficult ones, but we need to practice them. Let me give you the examples. So, for example, with ite, let's start. So, the verb сидіти, сидіти, it means to sit. To sit. To sit. So we have an ending iti. So we drop it. And we have the stem sit. Sit. And you see, we have d, and we have to add actually only j, but sidj. Sidj. So let me write it down. So we have the stem sidj, sidj, and we say it ends in j. This is a consonant. Again, this list is useful for us. So when you would say I sit, you say я сиджу. Я сиджу. But pay attention. Pay attention. Let me give you the red marker. Guys, this is for the first person. So only for я you say it. So я сиджу. Я сиджу. Я, let me just write it down again. Я сиджу. Я сиджу. And for other form, you just say ты сидиш. We drop this ж. For all these forms, we just say sid. We use this stem. For all forms. All other forms. Pay attention, guys. Ти сидиш. Він, вона, воно сидить. Ми сидимо. Ви сидите. Вони сидять. Here it is, guys. It is a little bit difficult, I know, but you need to practice, you need to remember these forms. Я сиджу, I sit. Ти сидиш, він, вона, воно сидить. Ми сидимо, ви сидите. Вони сидять. Exception, guys, pay attention. I give you examples with the exceptions in this video lesson. Please write all them down. The next one with iti. For example, ходити. Так, ходити. Ходити. it means to go, but it means to go on foot. So guys, ходити, this verb means exactly to go on foot. You can't use it when you go by means of vehicle, only on foot. So again, we have here the ending iti. We have to drop it. Again, we have here this d as here, and we have to add this j. Yes, ходжу. I'm sorry for my writing, but it's not really convenient to write like this, and I have only this white board in my space, so forgive me. So ходжу, you're right, it ends in j, and j is the consonant, so we add, if you want to say I go on foot, я ходжу, я ходжу, for я. Я ходжу. But for all forms you use again only ход. This stom. All other forms. All other forms. Ты. Again, one more time. I go. Я ходжу. Я ходжу. Ти ходиш. Він, вона, воно ходить. Ми ходимо. Ви ходите. Вони ходять. Pay attention. The second group. I want to tell you that the second conjugation group is more difficult than the first one, so I highly recommend you to focus on this conjugation group more. That's important. So let's continue. The third type is an exception, and it also ends in iti. Iti. So, for example, the verb hovority. Hovority. Hovority, it means to speak. Yes, even if you want to say such a simple sentence as I speak English or I speak Ukrainian, you need to know the second conjugation group. So, guys, you have to highlight the ending iti, then we drop it, and then we have the stom hovor. 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 Yes, guys, it ends in a consonant. It means that we have to add this kind of endings, but this is an exception. Yes, it is. So for ya, again, you have to add you here. And for other persons, you add these endings. You say я. Let me just write down here. Я говорю. Я говорю. Я говорю. So only for я you take this ending, and for other forms you add all these endings. So let me just tell you. I speak. Я говорю. Я говорю. But you speak. Ти говориш. Він, вона, воно говорить. Ми говоримо. Ви говорите. Вони говорять. So you saw already that for the second and for the third groups we have some exception with the personal pronoun я, and also we take this ending ять. No, we can say я and вони. Take you and ять. And here we take these endings. That's important. Pay attention. The first type. So we had already endings as iti and yiti, and now let's talk about the yiti. 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 So for example, the verb клеїти, клеїти, клеїти. It means to glue. To glue. Клеїти. Клеїти. So we have to highlight the ending їти. We drop it. We have the stom кле. 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 It ends in a vowel. So we have to add these endings. You're right. So я клею. Ти клеїш. Він, вона, воно клеїть. Ми клеїмо. Ви клеїте. Вони клеять. So everything is easy here. You just have to pay attention at the ending їти. And when you see it, it helps you to recognize the second conjugation group. Ось так. Group number 5. The verbs that belong to this group, they also ends in ite. But we have very specific rule here. So when we have these verbs that end in ite and the stom ends in m, b, p, v, f, then you have to add l after them and then to add the specific endings. Let me give you the examples. So, number 5. Wow. Так. It's clear that they have ending ite, but let me just give you an examples. For example, the verb робити. 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 Робити, it means to do. To do. So, guys, we see this ending, we omit it, it's clear. Then we have the stom роб. 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 You see, it ends in b. This rule, guys, please write it down. We add l here also, you see, I wrote you. So we have робл, 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 робл. So you can say Ina, it ends in a consonant. You're right, but everything is not so easy when we talk about the second conjugation group. So when you want to say I do, we add you. Yes, we do. So we say я роблю, I do. Я роблю. Я роблю. It means I do. But then, again, for ти, we add these endings here and for other persons. Ти робиш. It's only for я, again. Yeah, pay attention. Exception. Я роблю. But ти робиш. Він, вона, воно робить. Ми робимо. Ви робите. And вони роблять. With this one, you're right. One more time. Я роблю. Ти робиш. Він, вона, воно робить. Ми робимо. Ви робите. Вони роблять. The next one. Любити. Любити. Любити, it means to love or to like. But we would translate it as to love more. To love. Любити. Ending ити. We drop it. We have the stom люб. Люб. It's b. B we add l. Любл. Любл, I'm sorry. Любл. Again you say я люблю. I love. Я люблю. Я люблю. Я люблю. Я люблю. I love. You love. Ти любиш. Він, вона, воно любить, ми любимо, ви любите, вони люблять. You're right. Is it difficult? Please write in the comments below what do you think about the second conjugation group. The sixth group has such endings as ати, and яти. Ати and яти. So for example, the verb спати. The verb спати means to sleep. To sleep. So, yes, we have to omit this ending, and we have the storm sp. You see, it ends in p. Here, this exception, we add l. Spl. 3 consonants, but it's true. And of course, if you want to say I sleep, you say я сплю. Yes, again this rule. Pay attention. Я сплю. Я сплю. I sleep. Я сплю. Я сплю. Again, the next exception. You sleep. Ти спиш. Then we use for other forms. Exception in exception. For all other forms. Ти спиш. Він, вона, воно спить. Ми спимо. Ви спите. Вони сплять. Вони сплять. Так, сп for we use it for ти. Ну, він, вона, воно, він, вона, воно. Ми, ви, and then you say вони сплять. Again, exception in exception. Вони сплять. So as I said, guys, in this video lesson I give you all common exceptions for the second conjugation group. So don't be afraid that there are so many exceptions here. You just need to remember them. And now let's talk about the яти and examples with this ending. And the last example with the яти is the verb стояти. Так, стояти. Стояти, it means to stand. To stand. Так, so we have here the ending яти. We can see it here. We drop it. We have the storm сто. It ends in o. So don't worry, guys, if you see the verb and it belongs to the second conjugation group and we drop the ending and you see that the storm ends in a vowel, then you use these endings and usually there are no exceptions with it. So I stand, you say я стою. Ти стоїш, він, вона, воно стоїть. Ми стоїмо, ви стоїте, вони стоять. Whew. Thanks God, слава Богу. Nothing difficult about it. So guys, let's sum up. The Ukrainian present simple tense. We have to conjugate the verbs when we have to use them in this tense. So when you need to say even a very simple sentence in Ukrainian language, like I think, or I do, I play, or you say I'm playing, I'm doing, I'm thinking, etc. So you have to conjugate the verbs. When you conjugate the verb, you have to omit the infinitive ending ty and then to add the appropriate ending according to the group of the conjugation. And there are two conjugation groups. How can I know this verb belongs to the first or to the second conjugation group before adding some specific endings? That's why before you have to look at the infinitive verb, check out its ending or suffix, and then you can see. Today we talked that the verbs that have endings iti, iti, yiti, ati, yati belong to the second conjugation group. And then according to the storm, you have to add these endings. Also pay attention that when a storm ends in such consonants as s, then you change it into sh, z into j, t into ch, d, j, z, d, j, d, j. Then when a storm ends in m, b, p, v, f, you have to add l and then a specific ending. So I hope this video was very useful for you, and now you know the difference between the first and the second conjugation group and how actually to practice them. Of course, you need to know the grammar, the endings and the rules, but I highly recommend you to practice, because to master this topic you just have to practice a lot. To conjugate the verbs, just check out the most common Ukrainian verbs, then conjugate them, make your own examples, or if you don't want to go into the grammar very deep, just learn the verbs and how to conjugate them. And I had so many students who had troubles with this topic. That's why I produced 200 common Ukrainian verbs flashcards. Let me show you them. So this is the new design. You can see blue and yellow as a Ukrainian flag, my favorite colors. So here on these flashcards you can see the verb. So let me just show you the example. No, something not really difficult. No, for example, the verb літати. The verb літати means to fly. So on the one side you can see the infinitive form of it. On the second side you can see the English translation. Yes, also you can see the stress and all forms, all conjugated forms. So you can see я літаю, I fly, ти літаєш, він, вона, воно літає, ми літаємо, ви літаєте, вони літають. So very easy. You just take this flashcard and you just practice all these forms which are already written here, and also you can practice with the example. Том каже, що хоче навчитися літати на літаку. Tom says he wants to learn how to fly an airplane. So you just practice. You can purchase this set of the flashcards on my website speaka.com. Also there you can take a trial lesson with a professional teacher just for $1, and you can learn this topic very deeply and check out so many useful exercises with a teacher on one-on-one lessons. And also, guys, subscribe to my Instagram, Speak Ukrainian Language, because there I post very useful 1-minute video lessons and stories for you. And if you really like this video, like it, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you, your teacher Ina. See you soon, and bye-bye.